All righty, howdy, howdy. How is everybody doing this evening? And I just realized it looks like Mr. Your Driver Mike and Hannibal is Hungry have live streams going. So I don't know if I'll be here by myself talking tonight, but regardless whether I am or not, that's the way the cookie crumbled. What I wanted to discuss and get your opinion is multi-apping really worth it? Now, I would like to have some opinions, but I don't guess I'm going to get any other than my own. But that's okay, because it is all good. Let's get back over here. Let me get to the live stream. Open that up. All good. Let's get back over. Have to mute that. How you doing, pork chop? I'll just listen to today. How are you tonight, Miss Lisa? And how are you, Matt Ben? All right, cool. I'm glad some people are joining us because I'm not trying to compete with your driver Mike because he's a big shot and Hannibal's got a live going. Man, I don't know. And I figured Bud Soda's going to chime in on this one because we all know he is Mr. Multi-App himself. He needs to change his name to Mr. Multi-App, but that's okay. Now, okay, I'm glad you said that, Matt. I have a question for you. And you as well, Lisa, because I know you do Spark. Now, yeah, who? Yeah, your driver Mike. Actually, he was probably one of the first ones I started watching. Is my camera out of focus? It looks out of focus to me. I don't know. I think I have autofocus on. Hold on. Let's check this. Yeah, I guess it's on. May just be this monitor. Anyway, my question is, you don't think so? My whole life is out of focus sometimes. But anyway, that's another story for another channel. As the day or as sands, what is it? As sands in the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. That's what some of this YouTube seems like sometimes to me. But anyway, I'd like the Just Spark app if I could ever get approved. Oh, I'm sorry. And that's the whole thing. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, in my market, you can't hardly multi-app. I'm not saying you can't, but every hour you get a Spark order in my market. Now, I can try to turn on Uber Eats, and I do that occasionally. So technically, I guess that is multi-apping. But a lot of times it works out to where you have to wait at a restaurant, and then that's going to make you late for that Spark order. And Spark is like if you have two W-2 jobs, one part-time job, one full-time job, Spark is my full-time. The other is part-time. It's just figuratively speaking. But the thing of it is, if you are multi-apping and you are driving all over town going supersonic to get those orders delivered before another good order comes in, if you're on an app like Spark or what was it, Shipped, because I think Shipped is a lot like Spark. If I've watched some videos, we don't have Shipped, but anyway, if you have a schedule to pick it up a certain time, like with Spark, it's 45 after. You have about most of my deliveries, I finish them. Say we're going to use 1 o'clock as a time frame. You got your 12:45 order. You pick it up, and about 1:10, I'm finished, and I'm either on my way back towards the Walmart or a Walmart, and then by the time I get there, it's a quarter after. The new orders come out. Then technically you have 30 minutes, right? Well, we all have done DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. We've done something with food delivery, and we know how restaurants are. So, in that aspect, do you really have time to go pick up an order if it's not ready? What are you going to do? Be late for your Spark order and take a chance on late arrival? Plus, another thing I want to mention is I don't like sitting around in the parking lot, and most of y'all probably don't either. And I understand that. But if you're zigzagging and running back and forth to make $7 between your orders, how much gas and how many miles have you driven to make that $7 to get back to Walmart or Target if you're doing Shipt or whatever? But that's my whole thing is you can hustle and you can grind, but how many more miles are you driving for a few more dollars rather than just sitting still for 5 minutes, 10 minutes? You take a break, you go eat while you're waiting on that next pickup time. And you know, I get it. And that's why I um, try to turn on Uber Eats. But the last two times I've done it, it's made me late getting back to Walmart, and I don't like that. I says I focus on Spark. I use Instacart and Ship to fill in downtime. Sometimes I don't get on an hourly, especially if I don't make it back in time. Now that's a good point because a lot of times some of those Spark orders may take you out just a little bit too far, and you're pulling up at a quarter after to drop off that order. You still got to unload it, take the picture, and you're going to miss it. So I get that. The good thing about Spark, pork chop, I'm not trying to rub it in, but the good thing about Spark is sometimes you can get those shop and deliver orders because those usually I have never had them come out at a quarter after. Just your round robins come out at a quarter after, and sometimes you might get a .com. I've seen that maybe once, or not a .com, but a first come first serve. You might get two or three of those around with the round robins at a quarter after. But usually it seems like, and I may be wrong, but it seems like the first come first serves are round robins that somebody didn't want because they were junk, and they raised the price up a little bit because Spark raises the price up just a little bit if nobody takes it, just like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and the rest of them. My AR is so low. I've been skipped over for some round robins, so it's easy to multi-app. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like to shop and delivers too. I'll do them all day. And I was told that usually that those shopping orders, and y'all may already know this. It was kind of new to me. I hadn't really thought about it. But if you get a store that's got more shopping delivery orders than normal, usually it's because they don't have enough pickers working, so they have to use the drivers and the loaders to pick the orders, which suits me just fine. I mean, I'm down for that because it's like Matt said, you're generally going to make more money on those shop and deliver orders unless you're slower or something. And if you do Instacart, man, you're probably got them tires on that basket or smoking. I don't know. Uh, Dashing Emily is in the house. Shipping or shopping orders come out between 25 and 35 after. Now there you go. See, she shared something with y'all she hadn't even shared with me. but that's okay. I don't pay that much attention. I mean, I know the quarter after, and then after the quarter after, then you get the first come first serves, and the .coms usually come out here about 5:30 to 6 o'clock. But yeah, shopping is my favorite too. I generally like around 20 items. I used to I don't know, try to get $1 an item, but a lot of times those Spark shop and deliver orders are $1.50 to $2 an item. Not all the time, but a lot of times. But anyway, the thing is it doesn't seem like multi-apping if you and this is what Emily and I was talking about the other day. If you're in a good market, you have a good app and you learn that app and how to work that app, you really don't need to multi-app, because that one app generally is going to keep you jumping all day, you know. And at the end of the day, for those who calculate the hourly rate, which I don't do, but a lot of times you can come out $25, $30 an hour on the average. You may get some low ball orders, just like on everything else, but then you get some banging orders, and on the average, it'll come out, and you're a lot better off. And you don't have those miles. I can't remember last week. I don't remember what my pay was. It was like 780. I don't know, 760. Anyway, my mileage was only like 238 miles, and that's way over $1 a mile. And I didn't make that much a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I was doing DoorDash and Bite Squad and Uber Eats and Grubhub out and Favor and Skip Cart. I was doing all those apps at once, multi-apping, hustling and going and going. I was getting tons of miles on my car and using a lot of gas. And if you do one app, if you make a little bit less than what you would have multi-apping, I'd like y'all's opinion on your thoughts, because on my thoughts, it's how much more gas are you using? How many more miles are you using? And you're getting that much closer to oil change time. So then you got to pay for an oil change because you're driving more miles quicker. So when you subtract all that, I don't know if this is making sense, but if you really stop and think about it for you, you have to decide for yourself, is the multi-apping really worth it? And we don't think so. If you can pick up a food order like a Uber Eats or something, I don't even have a clue about DoorDash. It seems like DoorDash is I can still get on, but I can't. No, I can still turn DoorDash on, but I can't get on the schedule. I can't ever dash now. So no love lost there. But anyway, I don't put on the miles with food delivery. It's with the rideshare. If my air conditioner worked better like it was doing, I'd probably still do a little bit of rideshare on weekends at our military base. Other than that, I didn't make much on rideshare. It only paid here in this market. It only paid $8-9, and you was driving about 12 miles from the base to town, unless you can get to town, pick up some people, take them somewhere else, pick up some people at that drop off. Then you can make some money. But if you're just we're talking multi-apping. Yeah, that is the kind of the topic. It's whatever y'all want to talk about. But I thought about that earlier today, and because I've seen a lot of people pushing the multi-apping, and I agree. In some markets, you may need to multi-app to make it. But if you can find a good app that's paying good and consistent, I think I honestly think you can make more money just doing one, maybe two, but mainly just one good app. I think you can make more money doing that than what you can multi-apping because you're using the more gas, more miles, more. You're going to use more gas because it's a lot of stop and start because you're darting here and darting there, dashing there, dashing here. That's where dashing grandpa came in, dashing here and dashing there. But anyway, and Gig Giggly is like, oh, okay, man, you tripped me out. Change your profile. So you think, that multi-apping, and because I know where you're at, so it pays better than just one good app. It's Of course I don't know exactly where you're at. I know close, but it seems like you would have a lot more traffic than what we have, and it seems like it would take you longer, more red light to red light, and I don't know. That was the whole thing. Is it seems like even if you could make, like I was saying, if you take a Spark order, you finish it, you pick up your next order, or you get your next order, then you got to pick it up in 30 minutes. And if you go do a Uber Eats order and it pays $7 or $8 and you have to drive 6 or 7 miles, then you have to drive the miles back to that Walmart. So you've used more miles, you've used more gas. And in that restaurant, like most restaurants here anyway, very few times you walk into a restaurant and the order's ready. They just, it seems like food delivery on the apps, that's not priority. The people, customers in there ordering their own food is priority. So the other orders don't get fixed. Anyway, that's another story. I can make per hour using, I can make per, oh, you can make more per hour using DoorDash. Well, that's what I like about Spark is, and it may be different in other markets, but at this time, and unless you live in a market, if you live in a market, like I said before, stay away from Spark. It's a waste of your time. You're not going to make no money, all that stuff. But if you live somewhere else, Spark is rocking. And Shipt, I heard, does pretty good, and Amazon Flex, I heard, does pretty good. But Gig Mom usually does the Amazon Flex, and pretty much what I know about Amazon Flex is from watching her videos. So I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, as Mr. Giggly says that multi-apping is worth it, and I know Bud Soda would say the same thing. But I wish he was here. He's probably over. He's probably out working and watching somebody else's live. But I would just be curious as to how many miles he works, and if you had a couple of good orders and you just waited for those good orders, how much less gas and how many less miles you would make. So when you take that off your dollar that you made that hour, when you take off those miles, does it really come out to be better? Not to mention, the more you drive, we all know it, the more you drive, the more you're at risk for having somebody run into you or something happening. That's just a fact. So, is it really worth it when you really break it down? I don't know. It's not worth it here, that's for sure. Honestly, I do prefer to just run one app though. Less stress, less strategy involved. How you doing, Benze? We're talking about multi-apping. It's definitely less stress, and you know, people talk about multiple streams of income. You know, if you take that 30-minute wait time that you may have to wait, you may get a shopping order while you're waiting. Well, no, once you have accepted that order, so scratch that. But anyway, if you got other things, if you got other things you're working on, like say you want to do photography on the side and learn more about that, you can do some research and you can be working. It's not paying working, but it's like attending classes. How you doing, Mr. Tommy? But it's like doing classes. You're studying, so that's your study time and that's your break time. Time to eat, time to take a break, time to relax, save your gas, save your wear and tear. So what do y'all think? As Giggly said, multi-apping is more profitable in his market. But also, as he said, it's less stressful if you can just do one app. And if you're in a situation, you may not have to kill yourself to make that extra $10 in that hour. Because that is it worth $10 for the extra stress? $10 throughout the day on each hour adds up quickly. So I get it. And if you have debts or emergencies that you have to pay for immediately, I get it. But I still think you're going to make, if you are in a good market and you have a good app and you learn to work that app, I still think you're going to make more doing one app when you calculate your gas and your mileage, your wear and tear, all that. I think when you calculate all that, you may probably find that you make more with one app. That's just my opinion, but what I know. There was something else. If I can make my goal 20 to 25 an hour with one app, I'm good. With Walmart Spark, you can all day long. I have noticed though, the last few mornings, early mornings, it's really been crap. It hadn't been good at all. And the orders seem to get better as it gets later in the day. And personally, believe it or not, if you know me, I have actually began to like working earlier better. And I'm not a morning time person. I do my best thinking at about midnight to about 4 a.m. So I don't like getting up early, but I have trying to get better on that with a little help. And I've actually enjoyed it better. But it sure seems like the better orders and more orders come out. I mean, most of the time, I've had very few times where there wasn't some kind of order coming out every hour. And if you, me and Emily was talking about that, you may get a Spark order that's only paying $9 for 2 deliveries going 4 miles, and you're thinking that's garbage. And I have been guilty of rejecting those. People used to say you don't reject on Spark. I found that it makes no difference. So I don't know where that, maybe in the past it made a difference, but it's made no difference on my acceptance rating. But if you compare that to say a DoorDash order, you would be all over that DoorDash order or Uber Eats order. If it was paying $9 for 4 miles and you had 2 deliveries or whatever, man, that would be a good order. Because it wasn't that long ago. That's all I was doing was Uber Eats and DoorDash and Grubhub. So I get it. So even what we call lame orders on Spark are, in comparison to food delivery, they're still good. It's just you get used to those $20 to $30 orders, And when you get a $9 order, it's kind of like a slap in the face, like, eh. But yeah, I don't know. It's a mental thing. Do you shop for Spark or just pick up? Oh, Tommy. That was a question for Tommy. How you doing, Rodney? I didn't see you come in. Atlanta. If I can make it, I'm still waiting on Spark. Is there a tricks to signing up with Spark? I can't create an account. It continues to tell me my password needs uppercase, lowercase symbols, and numbers. I do. I don't know of any tricks. How you doing, Mr. Roy? It's never made a difference. I've never rejected an order, and my AR went down just timing out the order. Yeah, I used to be told if you never reject the order because it was bad for you, but it has made zero difference. So I don't know. I think somebody snuck in the door over here. I think that Dashing Emily is dashing around there in the kitchen or something. I don't know. Anyhow, Mr. Roy. Roy, what is, if you're still here and you hadn't snuck back out the door yet, because I know you a lot of times you're in and out and all about, what is your thoughts on that multi-apping? Do you used to do it and now you do just one, you work for one company, but do you think that you would make more money running all over town and dashing here and dashing there, using all that gas and adding those miles up? Do you think you'd make more money doing that or more money taking like Walmart Spark orders? I know you don't do Walmart Spark, but you know enough about it by watching everybody else. Don't you think you would make more money doing that? Or do you think the multi-apping thing? And I know it's all market dependent, but on average, I always like hearing Roy's opinion. I don't always, well, I don't know. About 97% of the time, I do agree with Roy. Never multi-apped. I don't, and you probably did just fine. Well, I've heard you before. You made good money. So there you go. And that's in Las Vegas. Maybe different markets or different ways. But I don't see a reason in killing yourself and killing your car to make an extra $10 per hour when you could get less miles, less gas, and make a little bit less, but you're not spending that on gas. Depends, yeah, it depends on the market. Depends on the market, but I think learning one really well, you could do it. That's what we think as well. If you learn that app and listen to what other people say. Don't be so narrow-minded that you think you know everything about it, because I guarantee you the day you think you know everything about it, something different's going to come about and you're going to figure out you don't know everything. So, hi, Miss Dashing Emily.
Hello.
Walking in here with some pepperonis. I'll be looking at that. We have to take my car in to get it detailed. I don't know. On some of the videos, if y'all watched them, you saw that dull place on the rear quarter panel on the driver's side. That might buff out. I've delivered to a fella the other night, and he just happens to do that for a living. He's retired, but he does detailing inside and out or out. And I'm going to get him to detail the outside. So we're going to run the car over after the live stream tonight and then see what it looks like tomorrow. Oh, I never agree with Roy. We agreed about disagreeing once, but it was the end of a disagreement on that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree to. I don't know what. Yeah, that just confused me, but I get what you're saying. I think the smart gig workers would learn their market well enough to know certain day are better for certain apps. So if you multi-app, use the app that works best for that day of the week. There you go. I couldn't agree more. Luckily, we live in a market. Not everybody does, but luckily we live in a market that Walmart Spark is an everyday app. And I haven't. I used to be told that Monday mornings was the best. I honestly haven't noticed any difference. You get an order every hour. Occasionally, you may not, but what about 90%, 95% of the time you do? I didn't get no looks, so she must have agreed with me on that one. How you doing, Dell? I'm going to retire soon. Do you think I can do DoorDash on Spark and make around 800 a week, 8 hours a day for 5 days? Well, depending on your market. If you were in the Wichita Falls, Texas market, definitely. Maybe not so much on DoorDash, but on Spark, you definitely could. Matt, I take Wednesday off because it's the slowest and I work the weekends. We were taking Sundays off, and we both like taking Sundays off, but Sundays are a pretty good day to work. But uh, Dashing Emily has a full time job, and she works 6 days a week on it, and Sundays is her day off. So that's kind of why we was doing Sundays off. But I don't know, we're flexible on that. Yeah, yeah, it depends on your market, but most for the most part, you probably can. I don't know what market you're in. How you doing, Miss Ellen? Sim Live. I'd have trouble focusing doing multiple apps. I think I'd mess up eventually. LOL. That's just me personally, and I'm obviously not everyone. The trick is doing it in the least time possible, right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you live in San Antonio? Yeah. You can do it in San Antonio. I know a couple of people that work in that area, so yeah. And DoorDash is actually last time I heard it was decent down there. But the problem is here is a lot of people are kind of tighter with their money, so they don't tip. And you know, I don't agree or disagree with any of my fellow YouTubers or gig tubers or whatever, but you kind of got to take what makes sense to you. Just think about how many miles. If DoorDash has a cap of $20 an hour, think about how many miles you have to drive to make that 20 hours or $20. Whether you're making a 250 delivery for a half a mile or a $15 delivery for 16 miles. Just think about your miles. How you doing, Gigwise? I'm wanting to. You're on a spark water right now. I I flipped over on your live earlier, and you was sitting. It looked like in a neighborhood. It's a really good picture on your camera. I don't know what kind of camera you're using, but I did notice that. So, how you doing, Drone Days? Wow, there's some people in here. But we're going to have to cut out at 9 o'clock. I can't run over the you know. a minute or two, maybe, but not very long. Because, like I said, I have to take the car in, and I'm kind of excited. And the guy said he might be out there working till 11, 12 o'clock at night, but I hate dropping a car off at somebody's house that late. I'd like to make sure I didn't wake them up or something. So is that a dash cam that you're getting that good of a picture from? That's an excellent picture for a dash cam. Must be one of them fancy 4K jobs. Anyway, the picture, it was a good quality picture. Got to run. All right. Oh, it's not a motor. Oh, well, I don't know if it's a Motorola phone or not a Motorola phone. Animal has a heated stream going. It's running longer than he had hoped. I saw that he was running the live stream, and so was your driver, Mike. There's Mr. Multi-apper himself. Yes, I'm in Houston, all over Texas. Houston is a big city. Yep. Oh, the Hannibal's is. Well, okay, Bud Soda. Let me ask you a question. If you had one good app in your market, you don't think you could make more money by the time you subtract your gas and your miles and all that? You don't think you can make more money on that one app than what you can running 2 or 3 apps and making an extra $15? How much more gas are you going to spend in that hour? I mean, I don't know. I know every market's different. Oh yeah, Tony and Rich had a great conversation. I'll watch the replay because I can't make all the lives, but I definitely watch most of the replays. There's a lot of interesting stuff. See, that's what kills this market is DoorDash is not king here. It's probably the lowest of low. Okay. Well, that's. I was just wanting everybody's thoughts on it, and I was hoping you would come on because I kind of wanted your thoughts, and I pretty much knew what you was going to say because you're the king of multi-apping from everybody that's in the gig community or gig tuber community. But I here, because I know UDM talks about on the DoorDash, they having you got to figure out what their cap is for the day, whether it's 20 or 25 an hour. But how many trips, and I understand take a 250 order for a half a mile, then a bigger order, and then all that. I understand all that. But by the time you spend the gas to do all that and the miles, if you had one good app and it paid $20 to $25 per hour, I don't like calculating that, but per hour, it seems like it would be better just to do that one app because you're less likely to have a wreck because you're driving less. That's one thing. You're driving less miles and you're using less gas. So, yeah, you're not on Uber, but it seems DoorDash Spark is Grubhub. Rhodey is here. I tried to contact Rhodey. As a matter of fact, I wound up uninstalling Rhodey. I need to reinstall it. Ever since we went to St. Louis, the Rhodey orders that I'm getting are all St. Louis orders. And I'm a long ways from St. Louis. So I tried to do a live chat with their help desk. And I went from 13 to 12 to 11. And then I was queue number 1. And they never got on there. And then it said that chat had ended. Or live chat had ended, whatever it was. However it was worded. But Roadie used to be okay here for a backup, but I wouldn't have time to do it now. And I know some people, hold on, if multi-apping right, you're not driving much more miles than just running one app. They blow you up and ignore them. You can still take orders anywhere. So you'd be driving more, huh? Well, that's interesting. But anyway, what I'm saying is, like Gary Middleton, he works up there around the Oklahoma City area, and he does Spark a lot. And he says that he can multi-app. You know, he'll run like one other app between the orders. The only problem I have with that is, like I said earlier, that I have most of the restaurants here, their orders are never ready. You have to wait at least a few minutes, but you don't have time. You only have 30 minutes, and you can't wait on an order, get it delivered, and get back in time to pick up your Spark order. So just running one app, less stressful, and I can make as much on one app in this market than I can running 3 or 4 apps. But like I said, every market's different, and Bud Soda's market, it works for him. But for those who don't want to multi-app or are afraid to or whatever, if you can find one good app, whether it's Amazon Flex, Shipped, whatever, you can probably make as much or more than what you can run in 3 or 4 apps if that's the way your market is. It's all market dependent, but I wouldn't stress over multi-apping. I think a lot of people put too much stock into that. And in some areas, yes, it's worth it. Bud Soda's proof of that. But in some areas, it's not worth it. And Emily and I are proof of that. Every market's different. So for each his own. I hate deadlines. Yeah. Yeah, with Spark, you have deadlines because you need to be where you're supposed to be, and that's the way it is. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention, and it had to. Pedro on his live Sunday, he had so many people on there, but his question was about if should gig tubers delete their old videos, and my thought on that, and I think I put it in the chat, but his chat flies by. He's got so many people in watching his, but I don't think anybody should ever delete any content that they've ever put out, regardless whether it's right or wrong, because the simple fact, if they figure out that that video is wrong and they were incorrect in their thoughts of that video, they can go in there and write their own comment and pin that comment to the top of the comment section and say update and put it out there that they were incorrect. But you should never go back on and erase what you've already said, because everybody makes mistakes, and it's all a learning process. Every day's a new day. What works today may not work tomorrow. So just go with the flow, learn it, learn your apps, if that's the kind of job you want to do. And it is a job. DoorDash throws you $5 order, and at that same moment, Uber Eats throws you 11. That's making more money. Yeah, but one of them, if you take both of them, and I've done it, I've done that I guess it's called dirty apping. I did it a lot. And 98% of the time it worked out okay. But what happens if you get the DoorDash order, Then you go to pick up the Uber order on the way, and it's not ready. There you are. Now your one order is going to be later. And, I understand that's $16. And you can do 2 or 3 of those in an hour. It was $35, $40 an hour. But at what cost? And how many more miles are you going to drive to do those? I'm lucky in that DoorDash is popping enough in my market most nights that I don't even need to turn on another app. Yeah, you don't have to take them both, but I remember it is so hard not to. when you see them dollar signs floating around, it's hard not to take them, especially when it's on your route. And sometimes I've had to wait. And luckily, I've had to drop an order because it was too much of a wait time. But you see those dollar signs, it's hard not to take them. But when you put in that many miles to do them, I don't know. Oh, you read my comment on the chat? Yeah, Pedro, I wanted to kind of join that live he had, but I'm fixing to get off here, Bud Soda. I got to take my car in. Got to take it over to that guy's house to get it detailed, so I can't stay late. Is it any different when these apps give us a stacked order? The only thing that I know about that is on the stacked order, it will tell the customer that the situation. And if the customer doesn't know the situation, then it's your fault. It's not anybody else's. At least if DoorDash stacks an order on you, you can blame DoorDash. And the app tells them that. That's just my thoughts. But I haven't done DoorDash in so long. All these videos on the top dasher and all that, all I can figure is the pay model and everything has changed since I was DoorDashing. And it's been several months since I've been able to get on DoorDash to Dash. I was going to try to get on there just like everybody else. I wanted to see it out of curiosity. But I can't get on to find out anything. And it wasn't to prove or disprove anybody. I was just curious because in all reality, I make as much money or more now with less miles than what I did working 3 or 4 apps all at once in my market. Remember, in your market, learn. Everybody tells you this. This is not me. This is everybody. But Soda agrees. He'll tell everybody every time he's on a live, learn your market. You have to learn your market, no matter what you're doing. Even one thing about Spark is if you have multiple Walmarts, like we have 3 of them and a Sam's Club, you can ask the loaders if they're staffed good that day, if they had a lot of call-ins, because that means you're either going to get a lot of shopping orders or you're going to spend a lot of time waiting to get loaded. Or they can tell you that they don't have that many orders coming in or scheduled because they have it on their little handheld computer each hour, how many orders they got going out. And if those are low, you might want to move over to a different Walmart if you have more than one. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of learn your market, because learn your market is learning the restaurants and the traffic at certain times. And it's gotten where when I was still doing food delivery, and I still do, but it's gotten to where most all the restaurants are slow. I don't know if they don't care anymore. I don't know. They're just slow. Unless never confirm orders until you have both. Yeah, that's a fact. Grandpa got to be looking clean. I'm going to try. You know, I've got that. It's like oxid. What do you call it? Oxidation. It's faded out that quarter panel. And the guy told me that I ran into the other night making a delivery that it's probably set in the sun on one side, and it could have been a repair job, and they used a cheap clear coat, one of the two. But he said that he thinks he can get that out, but he's going to do the whole car. And for $75, I thought that was really cheap, but apparently that's kind of the going rate. I don't know. But anyway, I hope it comes out shining. Not going to improve my gas mileage any, but it'll make me feel better. Unless the merchant makes you, and you better know which merchant requires that. Wingstop by soda, they definitely make me confirm. The Wingstop here is
slow.
Extremely slow. As a matter of fact, I guess if you was going to blacklist a restaurant, that would be one of them I blacklisted. And all chicken places. I don't care which chicken place it is, whether it's Golden Chick, whether it's Popeyes, or what's the other one, Kentucky Fried Chicken. All of them are slow. Churches, I refuse to do any of them. What was that? Oh, church is closed. Well, there you have it. Of course, if you don't live in Wichita Falls area, that ain't nothing to know. But it was out there across from the military base here, and I always refuse those. Customers told me that DoorDash does. Oh, wait. What did I miss? Oh, makes you confirm. One of the McDonald's here was making you sign for your orders. I did not know that, but I was riding with Emily one day and she had to sign for it. And I had never done that, but I didn't go to that McDonald's she goes to because there's another one that I blacklisted. Not McDonald's, all of them, just one. I don't do Grubhub, so I don't know. I have Grubhub. I can turn it on and let it go all day. And I might get one order at the dinner time. And it'll be junk. I saw something about the recession. Oh, has the recession hit in your market yet? It has here. If you're talking about Wichita Falls. And people are still ordering stuff, but nobody's tipping. That's another thing that kills that. And then Walmart Spark, sometimes you don't get tips on that, but luckily, generally speaking, Spark base pay is well worth the taking the order anyway. But I don't understand why people would go and remove the tip just like on DoorDash and take away the tip when they get free delivery. Well, I say it's free. It's $12.95 a month for the Walmart Plus, or $99 a year, I think. So basically, they're getting free delivery. So why they take the tip away, I don't know, but some people do. But I have heard that if you're on food stamps, you can't leave a tip. But I don't know. I'm not sure how that works with that. Appreciate your stream, Grandpa. Be safe. Make your money. Yep. I made a little bit today. Oh, you're talking about your comment. Customers told me that DoorDash does Uber. Won't tell customers when. Oh, really? I thought I had watched a couple of videos where they said that like DoorDash showed the customer on the app if like their order, your driver is on another order, but they're on your way. That's what I don't know. What I know. I'm just a grandpa. Like that one song, I'm just a guy. What's his name that sings that? Do you remember? Oh man. Anyway, if you don't listen to country music, it don't matter. Oh, what? The restaurant manager in my market are saying Uber Eats and Grubhub are dead, and 90% of it is DoorDash. Well, I cannot agree or disagree because I can't get on DoorDash. So DoorDash is dead to me. I got tip baited the other day. $14. You got on Spark? You got tip baited? Somebody had asked me if I had ever been tip baited on Spark. Might have been you that asked me. I don't remember. It's been a while back. I honestly don't know if I ever have because the way they don't give you the tip until it doesn't show up till the next day, and I don't think about going back.
Starting tomorrow, possibly, we get to see the unconfirmed tips. I just saw a deal on Reddit.
I don't know if y'all heard her, but she says on Reddit, starting tomorrow, it's supposed to show
The
unconfirmed tips
at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Your pay thing.
So let's check that out tomorrow. I'm going to start trying to read that. I have read it. I just don't keep up with it a lot. But there's a lot of information out there. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. But it's food for thought anyway. Cool to know. At least DoorDash does not. Oh, okay. Yeah. Luckily, in the last 2 months, I've gotten the free Walmart Plus through Spark. All right, folks, it's 9 o'clock. I got to get my car over to the gentleman to clean it. So I appreciate those who joined, and I hate to leave so quick, but I got to get that car over there. Let me read these real quick. DoorDash CEO makes over $400 million. Did you know that? What you think about? I haven't been tip baited, but it's pretty rare. I don't always watch closely enough to catch. If you're talking about Spark, that's the way Spark is. I don't pay that much attention. Really, Spark will also show us tips that have been increased or decreased. That's interesting. We'll have to when we get through with this, leave a comment where you see that at. I'd like to know. So anyway, I gotta go, y'all. I could stay here and rattle all night, but I got to get that car over there and get ready for another day. Well, actually, I may have to sleep in tomorrow if my car's not ready. Wouldn't that be a shame? I have a feeling somebody ain't gonna let me because I got a lot of things. I still have a lot of reviews to do. Product reviews. That's another story. Anyway, thank y'all for coming by, and I appreciate y'all's feedback on if you thought multi-apping was worth it. And that's kind of what I thought. It depends on your market. But if you're in a good market, I seriously think you can make more off one app. If y'all are not real sure, just stop and break it down as to how many miles you're going, how much money you're spending on gas, and how much more you're making or less you're making. And this I'm not saying make it a big, drawn-out, scientific project. Just kind of roll it around in your head and see what you think. In the meantime, y'all keep smiling, dashing, dancing, prancing, and doing whatever it is you want to do. Because see this gray hair, you'll get it. And you'll get fat and lazy if you don't do nothing. And you'll get to your deathbed quicker if you don't do nothing. So get out there and do something. Enjoy life. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.